Welcome back to Crypto Zeros. I'm George. We're all George. So today, Michael Saylor revealed when he planned on selling his Bitcoin. Is he correct? Should we be concerned? And what's the aftermath of today's little sudden dip? What's the deal with that? Let's talk about that. And let's talk about, I don't know, everything else that's going on in the crypto world today. Let's do it. Welcome, 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 guys. So we're sitting pretty, basically where we started the day. Today, this morning when I streamed, we had this little up arrow, looked like a finger pointing to the sky. Then we came back down a little bit, and then boom, oh, look at that. What happened there, right? It just wouldn't stop. It hit 51.3, then went back up to 51.8, and then boom, went all the way down to 50,800. So that's probably the biggest drop we have seen in a long, long, long time. Now, even though that may be the case, to put things in perspective, let's see, to go all the way, man, I gotta get rid of all this stuff here. All right, to put it in perspective, how big of a dip was that really? Less than 5%. That was a 4% dip, guys. Okay. So anyone that was panicking and saying, oh, Bitcoin is going to drop to 30,000 or Bitcoin is done, the run is over, blah, 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 all these things that you hear people talk about. Well, it's less than 5%. And that is what we call V-shaped recovery. So after we hit that bottom, we came right back above. As I've been saying, there is zero reason for concern at this point in time. We know that the ETFs are just going to buy everything. Had the selling occurred yesterday during a closed day, maybe we would have saw, I don't know, Bitcoin go below 50,000, but the other ETFs are just like salivating and they're buying. They're buying. The institutions are buying. Everyone's buying. So whoever was selling probably regretted it. And if it was due to some market makers trying to manipulate the market, trying to get people to sell out, maybe they were successful, but we came up so fast, I don't even know if they had time to accumulate. This could have been a giant failure to whoever was trying to cause some market manipulation, right? So I theorized, because I saw this morning, I tweeted this out, that it has to be Grayscale. You saw all these deposits from Grayscale into Bitcoin. And then I put two and two together. I'm like, what was that thing about selling 1.3 billion? It was Genesis. Genesis just a week ago was approved to sell 1.3 billion of GBTC shares. So that was only a week ago. So I'm thinking maybe it's Genesis. You know, if they have to sell, maybe they decided, you know, we got to wait a week or whatever and we sell, right? It could be them. I don't know. I mean, if you look at the numbers from Grayscale in terms of Bitcoin outflow, today was actually not that bad, 137 million. It wasn't like a 600 million or 500 million dump. So I'm not sure if it was caused by Genesis or Grayscale, but we did definitely still have some selling. But there was something more to that. There's something else that we're not catching, so to speak. But I guess we'll see tomorrow. But what I do know is this. ETF volume is the second highest since its debut, right? First day, we had a huge volume day. And it has been like, you know, tamer since then. But today, you could see we had a huge spike up in volume. And in particular, several funds that have not been doing that well or that had that much volume, they exploded. So you could see on the very right-hand side, you see that teal, right? And the purple. Prior, very, very, very little. But they exploded today. And overall volume today, about 2 billion which is enormous amount. So something happened today. Someone decided to sell or manipulate the market, whatever, okay, and failed miserably because the others just soaked it up. That's basically what happened, right? That's exactly what happened. Here's an example like Van Eyck. Their spot ETF, look at the volume spike up out of nowhere, 14x higher than before. Again, something happened today. But tomorrow we'll see the official numbers. Probably going to be very good. Does not matter. Obviously, Bitcoin is back above 52,000, so we're doing just fine, right? We're doing just fine. And we're still closing in the halving event, and the technicals still look good, and the fundamentals still look good. Basically, nothing has changed. And if any of you guys threw a little leverage down when we were down to 50,800 or 50,500, wherever we were, you would be up a good amount. So that was perfect time to be going long. But outside of that, today is a pretty quiet day. Besides, here's something new. Michael Saylor, look at how serious he looks. He revealed today when he plans on selling Bitcoin. Now, this may be a shocker, or maybe not. Let's listen. Let's listen when Saylor plans on selling his Bitcoin.
Talk about your existing holdings. As I mentioned in the intro, now worth around $10 billion. You have paper gains of about 70% or so, which a lot of people would like to see that sort of return. At any point, would you sell? When would it make sense to take profits there?
Well, I've famously said I'm going to be buying the top forever. Bitcoin is the exit strategy. It is the strongest asset. So what we see right now is that Bitcoin has just emerged as a $1 trillion asset class. And it's alongside names like Apple and Google and Microsoft. But the difference between Bitcoin and the Magnificent Seven is Bitcoin's an asset class. It's not a company. There's not enough room in the capital structure of those companies to hold $10 trillion or $100 trillion worth of capital. So Bitcoin's competing against gold, which is 10x what it is right now. It's competing against the S&P index. It's competing against real estate, a $100 trillion plus asset class as a store of value. So we believe capital is going to keep flowing from those asset classes into Bitcoin because Bitcoin is technically superior to those asset classes. And that being the case, there's just no reason to sell the winner to buy the losers.
So there you go. The answer is never. He never plans on selling Bitcoin because why would you sell a winner for losers, right? Remember that famous quote, if you ain't first, you're last. So I don't think that's a shocker. I don't think that's a surprise. Most of you guys know he's going to say that. But, you know, it was a good interview. Good interview. Usually Saylor's like really all over the place. A lot of hyperboles and a lot of like crazy examples. This time it just makes sense. Bitcoin's an asset class. It could hold trillions and trillions and trillions of capital, unlike companies. Maybe one day it'll be at 100 trillion in market cap. Right now we're only at 1 trillion. It could still do 100x from here. Who knows? Right? Again, Mr. Saylor and his Bitcoin. $10 billion worth of Bitcoin in MicroStrategy, and that doesn't count his own personal holdings, which is pretty significant too. All right. That's pretty much it. Today's a really light day. You know what? Outside of, you know, just the dip that we had, okay, but look at it, we're still holding around 2 trillion overall market cap. Bitcoin is still holding above 1 trillion market cap. Are there any surprises? Well, there's a few. There's a few that's brewing, okay? First of all, Ethereum is above $3,000. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that. Ethereum is actually up 3% today. They've been gaining more strength recently because of spot ETF speculation. So that is something that may be a new narrative that will continue forward this year, right? If these big boys want to get an Ethereum ETF, are they going to get one? And if so, is there going to be a lot more enthusiasm over ETH? So that happened today. So that's pretty good. Outside of that, if you go down the list, you know, you see a lot of reds, but they're not really red because they're basically at the same level as this morning or yesterday, right? But we do see Polygon above $1. That's fantastic. One of my favorites. They have not moved in a long time, but they're above $1 in the green. Also, Immutable X is in the green. These are ones I've talked a lot about, right? Especially Immutable X. They've been on fire recently. And also, I've been talking a lot about Stacks. Stacks is also in the green. The bigger Bitcoin gets, the bigger Stacks is going to get. Because programmable language is now a thing on top of Bitcoin. A lot of developers are programming, so they're actually standing out too today. So not really surprised. You got a few, you got like Optimism that's in the green today. Lido is in the green today. You have like someone like Render, which is associated with AI, in the green today. Say another L1 that's in the green today. Helium, Flare, Chili's, ApeCoin. I mean, you have some in the green. You have some in the green. Today, another decentralized storage play, Coin, decided to blow up today. Not sure why, but yesterday Arweave was blowing up, and I think the day or 2 days ago, Filecoin was blowing up. So right now, like what they call DePin, decentralized physical infrastructure, which includes storage, it's having a rotation right now. It's doing very well. Doing very well. But overall, guys, it's still early. There's a lot of great plays. Don't be scared out of the market. All right, let's do a quick Q&A. All right, let me scroll up here. We had a pretty good shakeout this morning, but it didn't really work. Steven, a really weird super chat, $1.65. Okay, thank you. Crypto Creme, some strange FUD today, but gotta say to our fam, do not give in to the BS. Listen to George, DCA, and HODL into 2025. Then we shall all buy some King George V. You know what? Thank you for that. And I bought something from Costco today that I don't recognize, but it's double the price. No, not double, but it's like way more than Blue Label. You guys know this? Middleton Irish whiskey, limit 1 per member, is $300 a bottle. So I decided to buy it. I'm getting ready for all-time high, which is coming around the corner. But I've never seen this before. First time. And it even says very rare. It's in the name. It's called Middleton Very Rare. So I'm glad to bust that open when we do hit all-time high. Tomorrow will be a huge day, according to someone in the chat. Maybe. I mean, if you think about it, again, if you think about what occurred today, okay, how much selling and plus long squeezes, if you put those together, I mean, it had to be an enormous amount for this to happen. Yet we recovered up, V-shaped recovery, like it was nothing. Within hours, we were back already. That shows you how much buying pressure there is right now, how much momentum Bitcoin has, right? It's just a matter of time. Maybe this morning when we broke through 53 was a prequel, and tomorrow we will see it, right? Robert says you could only get in Ireland up to a few years ago. I've never heard of it. MTMD says I prefer Middleton. Well done. I have to try it. I have to try it. I think you once said it was irresponsible not to hold ETH. What changed? No, I never said that. I said it was responsible not to hold some Doge. I don't think I ever said that about ETH. Randy Gonzalez says, George, you're so right. I didn't buy Bitcoin in 2022 and 2023 because everyone wants to own one Bitcoin. No one wants fractional amounts of Bitcoin. I was one of those people, but no more thanks to you. Thanks for sharing. And I mean, that's just psychology, man. Yeah, I mean, and yes, you could buy fractional Bitcoin. But for retail investors that are coming in, they're not so interested in that, you know? They're like, man, I could spend $5,000. I could get how much? 0.08 Bitcoin for 5,000? See, that right away just like deters them, right? They don't want to hear they're getting 0.08 Bitcoin for $5,000. They want to hear like, oh, you know, XRP is like 60 cents. How much XRP can I buy for $5,000, right? But you know what? I've always said this. You don't want to ignore Bitcoin. You really don't. Bitcoin is the only digital currency that I could say for a fact that will be around in 20 years or 30 years or 50 years. Okay? I can't say ETH or Solana or Cardano is going to be around in 30 years. I can't, because I see them as tech companies and they can be replaced. But nothing is replacing Bitcoin ever. Even though the upside, Bitcoin is more limited than some alts, but still the upside is tremendous. And they have no competition. Ben says, I finally got my cock in you. Can't wait for it to start pumping. Krem says, Middleton Rare at Costco. Okay, I'll upgrade my, I don't even know how to say that. Lagavulin 16. Wow. We'll all be taking shots soon, my friend. Elon is really, Townsley says, Elon is really milking his next Doge tweet. I mean, ever since he bought X, like the Doge tweets really have gone away. I mean, he did it a few times or something, but he's not really like shilling it anymore. Like he's really like hardcore into growing X, which is fine. But hopefully he comes out with his payment platform / wallet and it has crypto functions within. That would be absolutely huge. And I don't see why he doesn't open up payments again for Bitcoin, right? Like, why? Why would you not open up payments for Bitcoin payments for Teslas? Especially now, you know, he actually wants to sell more. Why not open that? Even Ferrari's taking Bitcoin and Doge. Nvidia earnings tomorrow. You know what? I think they're going to blow out of the water. I don't know why people are scared. The Nvidia stock went down today. AI is only getting bigger. AI is not stopping anytime soon. So I don't see any reason for worry, but you know, who knows? I don't follow Nvidia that closely. What do you think about 0.3 Bitcoin? 0.3 Bitcoin is better than 0 Bitcoin. It's better than 0.2 Bitcoin and better than 0.1 Bitcoin. So congrats. It's a large amount. A lot of people underestimate how significant it is to hold one Bitcoin. I mean, It's simple math. 1 Bitcoin equals $52,000. How many people in the US or on the planet can take out $52,000 from their bank account today, right now, and go buy 1 Bitcoin? I bet it's less than 1% of the population. Probably, yeah, around there. I had the beholder. Bitcoin chart will look like alts this bull. I love to agree with you. I love to see it. We're moving so fast right now. Love to see it continue. Right now, we're taking a breather right around this 52.3 mark. But once we shatter it for good, 60,000 is around the corner. JC says, should I keep buying Bitcoin? There's no reason to stop. Andreas, thank you. ERG Energy. I covered them before. I have not been paying attention, so I can't really say anything about them. Up 100. Maniacs is up 130% on Stacks trade. Should I continue to ride? What would you do? Well, I mean, if you look at my Stacks trade right now, I'm at 522%. And I'm still riding it. I have not closed it. I had a few others at AVAX and Solana. It was like barely in the red, so I closed them out. But I'm just riding right now Bitcoin and Stacks. On Tapbit, on my MEXC account, I have way more leverage. I'm a really degen on my MEXC account, but this one is like tame. But you know, up 130% is good, but this one is up 526%. I'm riding it. I'm going to ride it. There's no reason. I mean, even with today's scare, it didn't really do anything. It brought it down to like 300% and it went back up. I don't even know if you guys can see that. Rick, thank you. Cubic. Looks promising. Man, pretty big. 500 million market cap. Not too familiar with this project. Or am I? Someone asked about this morning. Yeah, it's a L1, somehow with AI related. With this AI Garth thing. Not my forte. I don't know enough about it. You should launch an NFT project. I do have an NFT project. The latest one is the Master of Cock NFT. For you guys that love cock, you want to be a master at cock, here's one. And I have other I Am George collection, but they're all sold out. You have to buy it from others. But the good thing is, every one of these come with a benefit, right? To be able to attend either future events or something, right? Maybe future contests. I came up with a couple really good contest ideas, like challenges, kind of like game show / survival challenges. I think a lot of you guys would really enjoy them. But they're tough. They're very tough. How many of you guys, I don't know if this is worth it, but I think it is. You guys tell me, would you take a month off from your job, if you can, okay, and participate in a challenge that could end earlier than 30 days, but then 30 days to the maximum, for $10,000? And it's like a physical challenge. But I think it's relates to crypto, and I think a lot of people would be interested in that. I think that's that's pretty good, right? To make $10,000 within less than 30 days. I say that's pretty good. Any thoughts on XRP and its SEC court hearing? I don't know about any recent ones. It's a physical challenge, though. A lot of people said yes. A lot of people said no, I'm too old for it. Some people said no. Yeah, if you have to work and then you have to like take you know, a month off, it's not worth it. But for those of you guys that are like, you know, more flexible with their time, and it could be less than 30 days. Yeah, I have a good one. I have a good one I'm working on. 10K worth of crypto. That's the prize. Alex says yes. Yeah, there's a chance you don't win anything. But there's a good chance that you will win anything. It's a contest, though. Real rug DIY. Sure, you could. You could buy a mold of my cock NFTs for your wives. How intense? Well, let's just say it involves digging. I don't know the intensity of that, but you know, I'm not going to share too much details, but I said it involves physical work, physical labor, and digging is part of that. I can't share it. Not yet. I have to finalize the details, and I don't want anyone else to steal this idea. But there's a lot. There's a lot of ideas like that. There's a lot. Next time I see one of you guys at a Bitcoin conference, I have a brilliant idea for Bitcoin 2024. It's going to take a lot of courage to do, but man, it's going to be awesome. I have a lot of ideas. I really want to do new ideas. Running out of hamster wheel to mine Bitcoin. That's hilarious. That's a good idea, actually. Building a giant hamster wheel and seeing how long you can last on there to mine Bitcoin. That's funny. All right, I'm gonna go, guys. I'm a little tired today. So overall, you know what? Hopefully none of you guys got shaken out today. Okay, someone was selling, but it didn't matter. ETFs bought it back, right? That's how strong the market is. There's a lot of great things going on. Nothing fundamentally have changed. So make sure you stay strong, stay focused, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one.